Being an entrepreneur can be nerve-wracking, largely because there's no by-the-book way to do it. Some people think they'll get the blueprint at business school, but that degree alone definitely won't guarantee success. In fact, out of all the degrees you can get, a business degree might be the least valuable. Think about it. If you go to medical school, when you come out, you'll know how to help sick people. Just like when you get out of law school, you'll know how to sue people. But an MBA doesn't mean you'll have the skills to actually run a business. They probably don't want to hear that up at Wharton or Harvard, but it's the truth. And I'm a living example. I might run multi-million-dollar companies, but I didn't graduate from college, let alone get an MBA. I don't know how to write a business plan. Truth is, I've never even read the ones I pay people with MBAs to write for me. Now, don't get me wrong, a business degree can open up a lot of doors for you, but it should always complement instead of compensate for an entrepreneurial spirit that's born in your imagination. That's because, in my experience, there's only one thing that will always steer you towards success. That's to have a vision and to stick with it. Once I have a vision for a new venture, I'm going to ride that vision until the wheels come off. There are always going to be bumps in the road, but I try not to let them faze me. In fact, my greatest successes started as visions that very few other people believed in. No one in the music industry, and I mean no one, believed in Def Jam Records at first. Just like how 15 years later, no one thought a hip-hop clothing company called Fat Fashions would be able to make it. But in both cases, I was able to ignore the naysayers because my vision for those companies was so strong. And it's not just me. From Microsoft to CNN to Rockefeller Records, many successful businesses started as a vision in the mind of a dreamer. Of course, we all have dreams. The difference is that Bill Gates, Ted Turner, Jay-Z, and Dame Dash believed in their dreams so strongly that they refused to quit until those dreams became reality. Those guys didn't win because they had an MBA, or wrote the best business plan, or read the Wall Street Journal with their coffee every morning. They won because they had the strongest visions. I'm not going to make too many absolute statements in this book, but I will promise you that following your vision will always lead to success. When sailors used to get lost in a storm, they'd always look for the North Star for guidance. They could use that star to help them get their bearings because it never moved in the sky. You have to use your vision the same way. Whenever you face obstacles or hurdles in life, look to your vision. As long as you've frozen it in your mind and it never moves, you'll know which direction to go in. As long as you never lose sight of your vision, you'll never lose sight of success either. Get your body and mind right first. One of the first steps toward empowerment is having confidence in your physical form. That doesn't necessarily just mean being able to run fast or jump high or lift a lot of weights. Those abilities can make you feel great for a short while, but the effect they'll have on your life is limited. What I'm really promoting is being comfortable in your own body, of having confidence in your physical relationship with the earth. Some people find that comfort through sports. For some it's dance, for others it's simply sense of well-being through yoga, watching what they eat. As you know by now, I've found that the asana or physical component of yoga is what initially got me addicted to the practice. I wasn't expecting it, but sweating like a slave and working my ass off while trying to remember God with each breath gave me a sense of physical connectedness that I hadn't felt before. And after each session, I'd feel like I had stretched out all my muscles and ligaments, realigned my system, improved my circulation, and regained a little bit of the balance that had been missing in my life. Instead of feeling tired, I felt completely rejuvenated. And to this day, whenever I come out of a yoga class, I still feel inspired, similar to the rush I get when I'm immersed in a new business project or social program. And that sense of energy and purpose can inject a sense of empowerment into your day. Having said that, I try not to get too caught up in the whole physical thing. Just like you can't take your money with you when it's time to check out, you can't take your looks or your health with you either. So as important as it is to be comfortable with the condition of your body, it's much more important to be comfortable with what condition your mind is in. That's why I must stress that the physical practice of yoga is actually only one of 8 steps involved in the process. The other 7 are spiritual steps designed to bring you closer to God. As a student of yoga for over 10 years, I have seen that yoga has led me to feel healthier, more aware, and empowered in all aspects of my personal and professional life. Essentially, it's helped me manifest my dreams, smile, and breathe. The physical practice of yoga might seem to be about putting your body into crazy poses, But in fact, its real purpose is to help remind you how to overcome any physical, mental, or spiritual sense of disempowerment through the simple act of smiling and breathing. For example, let's say that you're trying to do a physical pose called Salamba Sirsasana, or in layman's terms, a headstand. Essentially, it requires you to kneel, setting your forearms on the floor shoulder width apart. Join your hands, then lean your head forward so that all your weight is on your head. Next, you must straighten your legs so that your toes touch the floor behind you. Then lift your legs up over your head in a straight line and keep them there for 50 breaths. On paper, it sounds next to impossible, but people who practice yoga can do it without much trouble. How? By smiling and focusing on their breath. That's how you overcome every difficult pose in yoga, by smiling and breathing. The physical practice is a reminder that those poses are an extension of life itself. Each pose represents one of the many difficulties we all face in life. And just as you can get past the physical obstacles by smiling and breathing, in the same manner, you can get past the emotional obstacles you perceive to be in your way. That hour-long class is really just an intense example of what you have to do during the rest of the day. So if your boyfriend breaks up with you, instead of cursing him out or crying, try to smile and breathe instead. Focus on your breath, and it won't seem as painful. If you're about to take a test and you don't feel prepared, instead of panicking, just smile and breathe. Get yourself in a positive space and get a much better score, even if you're not prepared. Or if you're about to leave your job for a new opportunity and you're worried about whether it's the right decision, just smile and breathe. All the anxiety will fall away and you'll live up to your potential. Remember when earlier in the book I said smile and breathe is the most common piece of advice I give to people? Well, that is a truth I learned from yoga. If you can wake up every day and approach your work with a smile and a breath, I really believe you can lead a healthier life. When you know your mind can take whatever the world throws at it, you'll be much happier. I know my life is much healthier, both physically and spiritually, now that I've embraced the asana practice. Erase the anxiety. Yoga is also a crucial tool for empowerment because it helps get rid of our old friend's self-doubt and anxiety. Yoga can teach you to harness the power that's inside of you instead of constantly diluting that power with worry. So many times in life, we fight the same struggles over and over again. And in the process, we end up disenfranchising ourselves as much as any racist politician or greedy businessman could ever hope to. I certainly used to disenfranchise myself. I had money, traveled the world, ate in the finest restaurants, stayed in the best hotels, and was always surrounded by powerful people. But I struggled with fame and success as much as I had struggled with obscurity and so-called failure. I had money in my pocket, but still worried I wasn't smart enough. I still worried that I wasn't talented enough. I still worried that my next idea was going to fail and that people would laugh at me. I still worried that it was all going to end one day and everyone would say I was just a fluke. I still worried that people only wanted to be around me for my money and for what I could get them instead of truly liking and caring about me. And to be honest, I still ask myself those same questions. The difference is now I might ask those questions, but I don't struggle with them as much. They come into my mind, but through yoga, I'm able to push them right out again. Through yoga, I can hear God's voice telling me that I am talented. I can hear it reminding me that I am smart, that I will realize my dreams with hard work and focus, reminding me that it won't end tomorrow, and if it does, I'll still be okay. Yoga has helped me believe that people love me for who I am instead of who I appear to be. Yoga helps you realize that nothing is out of your reach, that no bar is too high and no race is too long. That's the gift that yoga gave me. I was reminded of this recently when I was speaking to some students about the power of yoga. After my lecture, one of the students came up to me and said, "Russell, you kept saying how meditation has been one of the keys to your success, but you weren't meditating when Run DMC was big. You weren't meditating when Def Jam first blew up. You got paid all of those times without yoga." On the surface, he was right. It's true that I was able to manage Run DMC without the benefit of yoga. Just like it's true that I helped build Def Jam before meditation was even on my radar. But I also had to tell him he was overlooking a key fact. You see, without that focus and the confidence I gained through yoga, Def Jam would have been the zenith of my success. Let's be real, I wasn't the first black guy to make a little money in the record business. My initial success was nothing that Berry Gordy, Quincy Jones, or many, many other talented people hadn't done before me. If I've done something that's fairly unique, I like to think it's being one of the few guys who were able to build on their initial success. I like to think that what separates me from the pack is that I made some money, and as hard as I might have tried, didn't piss it all away on cocaine parties and cars. I avoided being another guy who had it all and then lost it all just as quickly.
Get your money right. We've been talking about spiritual and political empowerment, but I also realize that many of you picked up this book in order to learn about concrete steps you can take toward financial empowerment. Far from being separate, these issues are actually closely related. The most important step you can take toward financial empowerment is the spiritual investment of empowering someone else first. That's always the best investment you can make. Having said that, I want to speak directly on financial empowerment, since there's a real hunger out there for this sort of information. That hunger is why the Hip Hop Summit is so focused on its Get Your Money Right tour, which features rappers speaking directly to hip hop fans about how to get their financial house in order. It's been a huge success, mainly because we've been blessed to be able to pick up the phone and call a Nelly, an Eminem, or a Beyonce and have them come out and speak about this issue in a way that's credible and in a language that their fans can understand. And for young people not only to hear this message of fiscal responsibility, but to have it sink in is incredibly empowering. This message is particularly important because the schools aren't teaching young people how to have a stable financial relationship with the world. The schools aren't teaching our youth about credit. They're not teaching them what a FICO score is. They're not teaching them about how to rebuild their credit if they've gotten into trouble. They're not teaching them about predatory lenders or about how to get a legitimate loan either. They're not teaching them about building equity, even though we know our young people are going to be bombarded with offers for credit cards and loans. While they're developing financial habits that could hurt them in the future, we still don't share this information with them. And because of that lack of instruction, too many young people fall into a cycle that promotes spending and debt instead of saving and strong credit. Many end up making mistakes with their money, mistakes that they then spend a lifetime trying to make up for. That's why we're working so hard to change their perception of personal finances. If you want very specific advice on how to avoid those pitfalls, then I highly recommend you visit the Hip Hop Summit's website at hsan.org. We're going to deal with the larger issues of financial literacy empowerment in this chapter, but the website will provide you with specific information you can use to start getting your money right today. Make money to make more money. When it comes to financial empowerment, the first thing the Hip Hop Nation must realize is that it's already empowered. Every year, it pumps billions of dollars into the economy. That's real power, but only if it's used wisely. The problem is that hip hop just isn't using that purchasing power to invest in things that tend to increase in value. Instead, the majority of that money is spent on toys like televisions, cars, clothes, and jewelry. And while those kinds of toys are fun, they don't grow in value. That's why we're encouraging young people to spend their money on things that can grow into even more money, like real estate, stocks, and even small businesses. You might feel great after you buy a 40-inch TV for your apartment, but you'll feel even better when you buy a smaller TV instead. Then put the money you save toward owning your apartment. So while it's cool to buy a CD from your favorite rapper, if you save a little every month and get your money right, maybe you can start your own label. And one day your favorite rapper might be recording for you. Emphasize owning. As a community, we still focus too much on renting and leasing. I know those often seem like the only options, but if you clean off your lenses, you will see that you can obtain anything when you're smart with your money. You'll see that you can empower yourselves by putting more emphasis on ownership, rightly or wrongly. The world caters to people who own things. It doesn't cater to people who rent things or lease things or put them on layaway. If you own your home, you get a tax break. If you make your mortgage payments on time, your credit score goes up, and then you can buy even more property. If you own your own home, you get more respect from your neighbors, from the cops, from the politicians, from everyone. It might not be right, it might not be fair, but it's a reality that we can't hide from. When you own the things that are a priority in your life, you're a player in this game. But when other people own them and then sell them back to you, you're usually going to get played. Thankfully, an emphasis on ownership is already becoming a bigger part of hip-hop's message. So many artists are now talking about being a CEO instead of just being a rapper. That's a great cultural shift. Previously, rappers usually talked about how they deserved a deal from a record label, but now they're focused on owning their own labels. They've seen the examples set by people like Jay-Z, Damon Dash, 50 Cent, Master P, and Cash Money, and they know that they can be the ones handing out the deals instead of the ones looking for a handout. And that's another important sign of empowerment. Past the bling, I want to take a moment to address the perception that somehow rappers aren't appropriate role models for fiscal responsibility. In the eyes of some critics, hip-hop promotes a world that's filled with fancy cars and bling, the kind of lifestyle that's unobtainable for most people. Therefore, it's hypocritical for rappers to come to the summits and encourage young people to save and be smart with their money. Well, to those who say we're promoting an unobtainable lifestyle, I ask, how the hell is it unattainable? I achieved that lifestyle and I don't come from privilege. Ludacris got it and he doesn't come from privilege either. Just like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Nas, T.I., Eminem, and so many other artists who came up in the struggle have managed to obtain it too. The cars and the jewelry aren't meant to make you feel bad about yourself or to drive you into debt. Instead, they're meant to inspire you. They're a way of saying that you can do it too. That with hard work, dedication, and faith, anyone can do it. But while we understand the aspirational significance of those toys at the Hip Hop Summit, we're also encouraging young people to look past the bling. Because when most people watch a hip hop video, they only see the cars and the jewelry. What they don't see is the accountants and managers working behind the scenes to make sure that there's enough money to buy those toys. So while rappers seem to be spending unlimited money in their videos, in real life, many of them are very responsible with their money. Certainly, LL Cool J wouldn't be where he is after 20 years in the game if he was reckless with his money. JL wouldn't make Vanity Fair's power list if he didn't have a financial plan. Puffy wouldn't be able to simultaneously run companies like Bad Boy and Sean Jean if he was blowing all his money on toys. It's very important for these young people to understand that many rappers are using their minds to find ways to make even more money. It seems like almost every rapper that attends a summit has an amazing story to tell about the business ventures he's involved in. When Paul Wall came to one of our Houston summits, he talked about how he actually just raps for fun. His real money comes from ventures like designing custom-made gold teeth or grills for celebrity clients. Similarly, Ice Cube broke down how, while he played around with a little bit of money as a rapper, he made his real fortune producing his own movies. It's very important for young people to realize that their heroes aren't one-dimensional when it comes to finances. It's important for them to understand that 50 Cent is making so much money off his energy drink, his clothing line, his sneakers, and his video games that he never has to sell another record as long as he lives. So even if 50's videos seem to promote lavish spending, the reality is much different. He's actually a disciplined businessman who doesn't play around his money. That's the real message that these heroes are sharing at the summits. It might not be a message that's been promoted as loudly as the bling, but it's definitely getting louder.
When can you let a vision go? One question I get asked a lot is, when is the right time to let go of a vision? It's a hard question to answer, especially because a lot of times I think some people are really asking, when is it all right to quit? To that question, the answer is never. But to the first question, I tell people that sometimes you have to let a vision go but you should only do that as a last resort. Because as we know, some visions, especially the important ones, take years and years to realize. So I would never discourage people from following their dreams, even if it seems like those dreams are never going to be realized. But if you are wondering if it's time to move on, I would encourage you to look deep inside and ask, where is that feeling coming from? Is the world telling you you're never going to realize your dream? Or is that message coming from your inner voice? As long as you're passionate about your vision, you should keep moving forward. I like to say that as long as I'm doing God's work, I ain't going to stop until they put me in the box. But if your passion is really missing from the process, then it's probably time to focus on something else. Just make sure that's how you really feel, and is not a reaction to what you perceive as failure. Some people change their dreams every day like they're changing their drawers. That's a mistake, because you must be patient with your vision and understand that, while some aspects of the vision might change, your greater vision shouldn't. No matter what you put on paper, no matter what you freeze in your mind, along the way you will have to compromise things. There will be sacrifices you have to make. Some plans will have to be abandoned, others will have to be changed. Just make sure you compromise on the details, not the big picture. In the end, the overriding factor in whether or not you realize your dreams is going to be you, not the world. You. If your faith is strong enough, that vision will come to pass. And when I say faith, I'm not talking about blind confidence or ego, or the kind of faith that comes after you have a couple of drinks at the bar. That's not real faith. Real faith is a constant connection to what's inside you and inside all of us. Connection to real faith is what will motivate you to write 15 business plans, even if you get rejected by every record label you pitch. Connection to the real faith inside you will motivate you to press up your record and sell it out of your trunk. Connection to the real faith inside you will motivate you to keep taking the law boards, even after you don't pass the first few times. If you really want those things, imagine yourself as a winner. Then your faith will make that image a reality. Hip-hop's foundation is rooted in individual expression through music, regardless of circumstances. The core tenet of hip-hop is believing in and projecting one's personal vision. Hip-hop empowers individuals to express their greatness through music. Hip-hop transcends socioeconomic limitations, providing a platform for self-expression. The essence of hip-hop lies in the power of self-belief and the projection of one's unique perspective. Hip-hop originated as a medium for marginalized youth to express their identities. It provided a platform to articulate a powerful vision of themselves. Hip-hop transcends limited resources and socio-economic challenges. Marginalized youth found a voice through hip-hop culture. Hip-hop empowers youth to overcome adversity and express their potential. The art form became a powerful tool for self-expression and social commentary. Hip-hop artists utilize microphones to articulate their unique artistic expressions. These artists initially connect with local communities through their performances and shared experiences. The artist's reach expands from local communities to encompass global audiences. Self-created visions are disseminated through musical performances and recordings. Microphones serve as a conduit for sharing artistic visions with a broad audience. Early hip-hop narratives often depicted success and abundance. These narratives contrasted with the artist's lived experiences of poverty. Hip-hop lyrics frequently portrayed themes of overcoming adversity and achieving financial prosperity. The juxtaposition of reality and aspiration was a key element in early hip-hop. This contrast served as a form of empowerment and escapism for both artists and listeners. Hip-hop provided a platform to voice struggles while envisioning a better future. Hip-hop's artistic attitude has evolved over time. This evolution demonstrates the tangible outcomes of visionary thinking. Hip-hop's artistic expression has transformed into a lucrative business model. The transformation showcases the power of cultural movements to influence economic landscapes. Hip-hop's entrepreneurial success challenges traditional business norms. Formal education is not always a prerequisite for entrepreneurial achievement in the hip-hop industry. The hip-hop industry demonstrates alternative pathways to business success. Hip-hop artists often develop business acumen through practical experience rather than academic training. The success of hip-hop entrepreneurs highlights the value of creativity, adaptability, and cultural relevance. Hip-hop's business model emphasizes direct-to-consumer relationships and brand authenticity. Hip-hop's unconventional strategies have disrupted traditional business models in corporate America. These innovative strategies often originate from outside established institutions. Corporate America is adapting and integrating hip-hop's innovative approaches to enhance business strategies. This integration showcases the potential for diverse perspectives to drive business growth and cultural relevance. Hip-hop entrepreneurs have achieved considerable financial success despite lacking formal business education. Thriving companies have been created by hip-hop entrepreneurs, demonstrating business acumen and innovation. The success of hip-hop entrepreneurs underscores the importance of creativity and cultural relevance in business. Wealth accumulation is a tangible outcome of the entrepreneurial spirit within the hip-hop community. During economic downturns, many sectors face downsizing and financial challenges. Hip-hop demonstrates resilience and adaptability amidst economic instability. Hip-hop's thriving status showcases its unique position in challenging economic times. The music industry's adaptability allows it to remain robust despite broader economic difficulties. Hip-hop's cultural influence and community engagement contribute to its economic stability. While traditional markets decline, hip-hop's innovative business models foster continued growth. The success of hip-hop artists demonstrates the potential rewards of visionary thinking. Driving luxury cars symbolizes material achievement and financial success. Building companies represents entrepreneurial success and long-term wealth creation. Visionary thinking is a key driver of innovation and economic advancement. The rewards of visionary thinking extend beyond material wealth to include influence and impact. Hip-hop artists exemplify how creative vision can translate into tangible success. The core principle of hip-hop success lies in a strong belief in one's vision. This belief in one's vision drives innovation within the hip-hop community. A strong personal vision fosters determination, a key element for success in hip-hop. Vision, innovation, and determination are interconnected factors contributing to hip-hop's cultural impact. Hip-hop's enduring appeal stems from its artists' unwavering commitment to their unique artistic visions. Hip-hop prioritizes vision and creativity as primary drivers. Conventional business models often emphasize qualifications and resources. Hip-hop's unconventional approach contrasts with traditional businesses' structured methodology. Vision and creativity are often valued over traditional qualifications and resources in hip-hop culture. Hip-hop's influence extends to marketing strategies, offering innovative approaches to engage target audiences. Hip-hop culture significantly impacts branding by fostering authenticity and community engagement. Innovative distribution strategies in hip-hop leverage digital platforms and direct-to-consumer models. Hip-hop's entrepreneurial spirit drives creative business models and revenue streams. The cultural impact of hip-hop demonstrates its innovative influence on diverse business practices. Hip-hop's success stories serve as a source of inspiration for individuals from similar backgrounds. These narratives encourage the pursuit of personal visions and ambitions. Hip-hop culture challenges socio-economic barriers by providing avenues for social mobility. Success within hip-hop empowers individuals to overcome adversity and achieve upward mobility. Hip-hop's core message emphasizes self-belief and personal empowerment. This message resonates across diverse cultural contexts and linguistic barriers. Hip-hop's universal themes of struggle and triumph connect with individuals worldwide. The genre's rhythmic and lyrical expression provides a powerful outlet for self-expression. Hip-hop culture fosters a sense of community and shared identity among its global audience. Hip-hop culture fosters an entrepreneurial mindset. It encourages individuals to identify opportunities. Hip-hop inspires the creation of unique paths to success. Independent record labels exemplify entrepreneurial ventures within hip-hop. Hip-hop fashion brands showcase entrepreneurial creativity and market understanding. Event promotion within hip-hop demonstrates entrepreneurial skills in marketing and logistics. Hip-hop artists frequently encounter substantial challenges throughout their careers. Unwavering belief in their artistic vision is crucial for hip-hop artists to navigate these difficulties. Resilience and determination enable artists to overcome adversity and achieve their goals. Success in hip-hop requires artists to transform obstacles into opportunities for growth and innovation. Hip-hop serves as a medium for individuals to express creativity. Through hip-hop, individuals can communicate their ideas and perspectives to a global audience. Hip-hop provides a platform for sharing personal stories and experiences. Creative expression in hip-hop allows artists to connect with listeners on a deeper, more meaningful level. Hip-hop's influence extends beyond music into various cultural domains. Fashion trends are significantly shaped by hip-hop culture. Hip-hop's impact on art is reflected in graffiti, street art, and visual expression. Language and slang used in hip-hop have permeated mainstream communication. Hip-hop culture significantly shapes broader cultural trends and norms. The pervasive influence of hip-hop is evident in its integration into mainstream society. Hip-hop culture fosters economic empowerment by providing avenues for wealth creation. Financial independence is a key outcome of the economic opportunities within hip-hop. Hip-hop entrepreneurship includes music production, fashion, and branding, generating diverse income streams. Independent record labels and artist-owned businesses contribute significantly to wealth accumulation within the hip-hop community. Hip-hop's influence extends to real estate, technology, and investment, further diversifying economic portfolios. Hip-hop's legacy inspires future generations of artists. Hip-hop fosters a culture of innovation. Hip-hop's influence extends to entrepreneurship. Hip-hop promotes creativity across various domains. Creating hip-hop music involves translating a personal vision into a tangible product. The process aims to produce music that resonates with a target audience. Hip-hop production integrates various elements to achieve a unique sound. Sampling involves incorporating pre-existing audio into new compositions. Beatmaking forms the rhythmic foundation of hip-hop tracks. Vocal production refines recorded vocals through effects and mixing techniques. Hip-hop artists employ innovative marketing strategies to cultivate their brands. Strategic promotion is key for hip-hop artists to effectively connect with their fan base. Digital platforms are leveraged to enhance brand visibility and fan engagement. Creative merchandise and exclusive content are used to foster a deeper connection with fans. Collaborations and partnerships amplify reach and introduce artists to new audiences. Strategic partnerships enable hip-hop entrepreneurs to broaden their market reach. Business ventures can be diversified through collaborative partnerships. Partnerships increase resource pooling, fostering innovation and competitive advantage. Joint ventures allow for shared risk and increased access to expertise. Brand synergy through partnerships enhances market visibility and customer loyalty. Collaborative efforts drive revenue growth and sustainable business models. Hip-hop's adaptability ensures its long-term sustainability as a cultural force. Evolutionary changes within hip-hop contribute to its ongoing relevance and appeal. Hip-hop's economic sustainability is supported by its global commercial appeal. The continuous cycle of innovation and adaptation maintains hip-hop's cultural impact. Hip-hop's ability to integrate diverse influences ensures its continued growth and sustainability.
How to harness your vision. You can see just how strongly I believe in the power of vision. That's why I want to break down the various steps you can take to harness it. Separately, they're all useful, and if you can master just a few of them, you'll see an incredible improvement in your life. But if you can draw upon the faith, dedication, and focus to bring all of these steps together, you'll be in control of how you see the world and how the world sees you. And that's a beautiful way to live. Which vision? Everybody dreams. You dream every night when you go to sleep, and if you're like me, you spend a lot of time dreaming during the day too. So the first question to ask is, out of all these dreams and visions, which is the one you should follow? A lot of people spend their entire lives dreaming, but never pursue any of their dreams to their conclusion. That's understandable. It's very scary to dedicate yourself to one dream. To take all of your eggs and put them in one basket, you need to be very confident in that vision. That's why I believe you can be sure you're making the right choice when you let your passion pick your vision. When you have an idea that you find yourself feeling very passionate about, then that's the one you need to go after. If you feel lukewarm about an idea or lose interest in it after a few days, it probably wasn't the one you were meant to pursue. But when you have a dream that you can't get out of your mind and your heart beats faster every time you think about it, then that's the one. But make sure it's your vision you're following. It has to be your vision for your life. Don't go to medical school because that's what your parents want you to do. Don't play basketball because you're 7 feet tall and people always assume you're a baller. You'll just end up as one of these centers who everyone thinks is lazy and unskilled, but really just doesn't have a true love for the game. Don't decide to be a model because every time you go to a club, some photographer gives you his card. Pursue those careers because you love them, not because you think people will love you for pursuing them. If you only do something because it's what other people want you to do or it seems like the easy way out, you'll never have a passion for it. And without passion for what you're doing, you'll never ever be successful at it. Because my own work is often about creating, I admit that sometimes I get too hung up on the creative process. I'll get so excited by a new record or a new show or a new poet that I'll forget that not everyone shares the passion to assist the creative process. It's important to remember that not everyone is a Lauryn Hill or an Andy Warhol or a Miles Davis. Some people aren't creative, but they are tremendous business people. For them, the art of buying and selling is just as rewarding as creating. As my friend Donald Trump put it, deals are my art form. Other people paint beautifully on canvas or write wonderful poetry. I like making deals, preferably big deals. That's how I get my kicks. So while Donald might not be an artist per se, he's still a great visionary in his own field. If you're struggling to come up with a truly unique idea, it's okay. You can start by building on someone else's foundation and keep adding your own flavor and your own twists until eventually it becomes something that's uniquely you. There are many roads to success, even within one industry. Never forget that. That's very important. Freeze your vision. Once you've picked a vision that you feel passionate about, the next step is to freeze it. I can't stress this enough. When a vision begins to resonate with you, you can't let it slip away. Do whatever you can to freeze it. Even a powerful vision can get lost quickly among the distractions of the world. I know, because I've forgotten visions and ideas that I thought would stick with me forever. That's why you must freeze a powerful vision in your mind immediately. The safest way to freeze a vision is by articulating it as soon as you have it. If you're a writer and you dream the plot to a novel, write it down the second you wake up. Don't get up and brush your teeth or get a cup of coffee. You should be drinking green juice or tea anyway. Write it down before you do anything else. If you're a painter and you see an incredible landscape in your mind, freeze that vision by drawing it immediately. Don't wait to get to your studio. Use your kids' crayons if that's all that's around. Maybe you're a singer and an amazing melody comes into your head while you're in your car. Don't assume you'll remember it later. Pull over and sing that melody into your answering machine. No matter who you are or what you do, freeze your vision so that you can never lose it. Freeze it in your mind and meditate on it every day, because you have to be able to call on that vision whenever you need it. It's also very important to try to always see the details in your vision. Freeze the big picture first, but then keep working on the details. For instance, it's not enough to just say, I want my own record label. Your vision for that label has to be very specific for it to be successful. You have to have a vision for what the label will be called, what your logo is going to be, what sort of distribution deal you want, what sort of artist you're going to sign, what your office is going to look like, even the color of your stationery. From the root to the fruit, you have to have a clear vision for every part of your idea, because when you have your own label, and you will, and it's time to pick a distribution deal or it's time to sign an artist, you won't have to wonder what to do. You'll just look back to the vision you froze and know exactly what move to make. See every single last detail of what you want to accomplish. That detailed vision, frozen in your mind, will be your roadmap to success. I'll admit that MBAs can usually do one thing very well, and that's help you formulate the details of your ideas. I might have a lofty vision, but I'll bring in an MBA to help articulate the details. I'll have them list the details as an exercise to make sure that the vision is sound. That's the point of creating a business plan. However, the idea doesn't begin or end with a business plan for me. Any good business plan will always change and evolve. The business plan is just my way of making sure that the details are right and everyone on my team is literally starting on the same page. But using MBAs is a luxury I can afford at this stage in my career. You might not be so fortunate right away. That's why when you're first getting started, you have to be the dreamer and the MBA guy. You have to dream up the lofty idea and work out the small, mundane details. Lofty ideas can be more fun to kick around in your head, but the details are what will help attract support and attention for your vision. Details allow a vision to materialize into a fundable plan. Details give people confidence in you. Let's say I'm meeting with two people, both of whom are trying to pitch me on investing in a new venture. Both people might have great ideas, but the person who can provide me with a detailed vision is more likely to get the check. Make sure you're that person. Be clear in your vision. After you've frozen the vision you feel passionate about and have articulated its details, your next step is to make sure that your vision is clear. By that I mean that the idea isn't so lofty that the average person can't see it, or that it's not filled with so many details that they're overshadowing your original idea. A clear, unobstructed vision of what you want gives you an advantage in dealing with other people. Remember how I said Baby's vision was so clear that it became contagious? That's what you want for your idea: clarity and confidence. When you do have a clear, strong vision, you will see results. People love to be around someone who is crystal clear on their future. Your confidence is going to give them direction. People will follow someone who's clear with his vision, probably because they're not clear on their own. It's true in my company, Rush Communications. I don't care if it's your first day on the job or if you've been with me for 10 years. If you have a clear vision for something, I'm going to listen to you. Share your vision. The final step in realizing your dreams is always to share them with the world. This should be the easiest step, but for some people it's actually the hardest. They might spend months up in their room dreaming up a new idea, freezing it in their mind and working out the details. It might be all they think about, but when you see them on the street and ask them what they're working on, they'll just say, "Oh, not much." Not because they haven't been working hard on sculpting their vision, but because they're afraid to share it. Why? It really comes down to a lack of faith. Even though that idea was given to them by God, they still don't trust it. They're afraid that their idea is going to be rejected. And that fear is what you have to get over if you want to realize your dreams. One of the easiest ways to get over that fear is by focusing on the process. Don't look at sharing your idea as a chance for people to judge it. Just look at it as another baby step in the process you've already committed to. It would have been great if the Fat Farm store had immediately sold a ton of shirts. That would have made things very easy. But good things don't come easily. They take time to develop. The reality was that not many clothes were bought after we first opened the store. Financially, the store was a mess, but I didn't trip over the bottom line. I was too focused on my greater vision, which was building a classic clothing company. When you're only focused on the bottom line, a win is when you make $5 million in your first year. But when you're focused on the process, a win is when someone walks into your store and buys a shirt because he loves it. A win is when that person tells you that maybe the shirt should have been a different color or the collar should have been a little wider, because that person is helping you learn from your mistakes. You might be losing money, but you're gaining the knowledge you need to reach your ultimate goal. You're taking more baby steps in the process. Always put your vision out there. Never be afraid to share it. Another great reason to share your vision is that once you share it, you're stuck with it. Once you share your idea, people are expecting something from you. Some of them will encourage you, some of them will criticize you, but all that attention will just make it harder for you to give up on your vision. That attention will force you to continue the process.
Forward. Donald Trump, if you've spent any time following my own career, you know success is a subject I take very seriously. I not only work very hard to be successful in my own life, but to help other people become successful as well. From my books, to my university, to my TV show, I want to help people understand what it takes to be successful. Even my buildings are designed to inspire people and remind them to always follow their dreams. So, endorsing someone else's views on success is not something that I do lightly. Yet when Russell asked me to write the foreword for this book, I said yes, without any hesitation. Because if there's one person I believe can show you a path toward true success, it's Russell Simmons. Russell is one of the great entrepreneurs out there today. I've always been astounded by his ability to see where the world is going and then move in that direction. That ability to follow a vision, even if it means leaving his comfort zone, is just one of the qualities that make Russell such a fabulous businessman. As you'll read, he also understands the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people. People who are competent, but not complacent. Russell and I might get the credit for our respective successes, but we also both know that we'd never reach those heights without a strong home team. Similarly, we both realize how important it is to never quit. If there is a concrete wall in front of you, you have to go through it. You can never, ever give up, or even think in terms of giving up. And of course, we both appreciate the importance of building strong brands. Just as I've always tried to ensure that the Trump name connotes luxury and quality. For over 20 years, Russell's stamp on a product means that it's an authentic reflection of the best in popular culture. But while I could talk about Russell's entrepreneurial acumen all day, this book is about so much more than just making money. That's because Russell understands that the true definition of success can never be measured in dollars and cents. This concept might not seem to be something I would normally promote, but I couldn't agree with it more. In fact, I've always said that while success is good, success with significance is even better. And I think you'll find that the kind of success that Russell is promoting in this book is very, very significant indeed. That's because it's a success that's based on sharing instead of hoarding, on staying open to new ideas, even ones that might seem strange at first, on making the right choices, even when they don't seem to be in your best interests. It's the kind of success that we should all strive for. Russell and I have been friends for over 20 years, and he's always been kind enough to call me a mentor and an inspiration. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I've learned so much from Russell over the years as well. That's why I encourage you to open up not only your eyes, but your heart as well, and really let the messages in this book sink in. I believe that if you can even absorb just a small portion of the laws Russell shares in this book, it won't be long before you'll find the success you've always been after. Donald Trump, 2007.
Can blacks be a competitive group without group self-interest? It would be very difficult for Black Americans to become a competitive group if they cannot shake the unique social conditioning imposed on them during 5 centuries of slavery and Jim Crow semi-slavery. Normally, a group that has been systematically oppressed for a prolonged period develops a heightened sense of group consciousness, self-interest, and closes its ranks against outside threats. Blacks appear to be different. The 21st generation of Black America remains bound by lessons learned in slavery that stripped them of a group self-interest. They remain altruistic, dedicated to the welfare of others before themselves. They love everybody, are forgiving, long-suffering, hard-working, self-sacrificing, dedicated to taking care of others first, and look for a reward in heaven after death. Today, that mindset has resulted in blacks who believe that because of their long status as sufferers, they ought to be the moral conscience of the nation and the world. Few black ministers tell their congregations that it is actually against Bible instructions to sacrifice themselves, abandon their homes, families, and race to save others, regardless as to whether they are immigrants, ethnics, homeless, impoverished, gay, or any other fabricated minorities. Blacks carry the moral and civil rights banner for all people, while most people look out for themselves and ignore the needs of the black masses. In a race-based society, every group is competing to win in their own group self-interest. As a group, by not having self-interest and being altruistic, blacks lose by default. They are poor and powerless. Their labor and culture have enriched nearly every group on earth except their own. With a sense of self-interest, a group can recognize competitive advantages, opportunities, and ways to protect and build on what it has that is valuable. Success will come only when they can unify and compete in the best interest of the group.